Hello and good evening, everyone. I am Gary Gonzo. Welcome to P1's broadcasting of Round 2 of Season 8 of the longest continuously running DW12 series on iRacing. Today is the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by The Joy of Driving. Tonight we're coming to you from Legacy Pocono Raceway for the Watchman 250. As always, joining me in the booth after a long weekend of watching IndyCars, just like myself, on TV qualify for the Indy 500. It is the Catalyst Andrew Wood joining me, and now we move from the IR18s at Indianapolis to, an oval that definitely took Indianapolis a little bit of homage to it with its turn 2, but we're back in the DW12s for a 250-miler here at the Tricky Triangle.
Good to be with you, Gary. It's it's quite a whirlwind of a week here.
Yeah.
Everyone's been kind of in an Indy mindset, and now we're going back to a DW12 league. And so I'm sure some of these guys are feeling a little bit exhausted from everything that they went through for the last few days. But at the same time, you got to kind of tune that out and get ready for a nice long race here at Pocono Raceway tonight. Somewhat similar style of racing to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but not quite the same. So it'll be interesting if these guys can sort of switch their mindset from a full Indianapolis Motor Speedway feeling to a Pocono Raceway feeling. In a different car, mind you.
Right. Well, different car, same car, different aero kit attached to it. Long story. We'll eventually talk about it at least once or twice later this season, but that's what's going on with the DW12s. We are already qualified. Let's get in tonight's starting lineup here from the Pocono Mountains as the pace car is underway here. And we'll bring this all in here. And on the pole is Rafi Eckert, one of our fast Brazilians with the speed of 2:18.5. Right next to him is Eric Peterson, one of the admins. And you can tell the difference between him and his teammate because Eric has the bright red rims. Wags is third. Hayes, say hey Lewis Hayes, with a great qualifying run. Fourth. Forsyth and Wilson back on row 3. Murph and Vitor on row 5. Teed and Coker on row 5. Murphy and Vitor on row 4. We got Lover and Stouffer back on row 6. We got to watch Stouffer. He is a bit of a Pocono whisperer. Rogers and Greenlee back on row 7. Yari and Martin's back on row 8. Last week's winner, not last week's, but 2 races ago, and our points leader and defending series champion, Schaus on row 9 with Dinsdale. Pahutsky and Heisong back on row 10. Johnson and Cohn, the Watchman, back on row 11. Fortson and Albrecht on row 12. Averett and Presley, row 13. Salvador and Anderson on row 14. That is our 28-car field. Very healthy lineup.
Definitely a lot of cars here tonight, and that's good to see that the fire is going for a lot of these guys. And I'm sure some of these guys gave the 500 miss and wanted to focus on exactly the Pocono Raceway situation here. So, our top 3 from last week aren't sitting up towards the front. So this will give a chance for some other guys we don't typically see going for race wins up here, a chance to really show what they have to have going for them. So I'm excited to see what happens here.
Round 2, Season 8, green flag in the air. Here we go from Pocono. Rafi Eckert, Peterson, Wag, and Hayes and Forsyth. Going to be the top 5 in the 1.
We got the guys kind of going for the lead here, but right here in the mid-pack, it's 2-3 wide. Very, very close racing. Let's hope these guys can get through the first lap here without any sort of issues. Looks like we got through turn 1 without any problems, and now goes the long... Oh, we have a little contact in the back there. But we're getting down Long Pond Straightaway without any real big incidents.
Wags to the front in that old Newgarden livery when he drove for Fisher Hartman Racing.
It looked like the incident I referred to there was Mark Cohn trying to shift lanes and had a little contact with Casey Pahutsky, but both cars continue on. No wreck, but there may be a little bit of damage on Pahutsky's car if Cohn happened to kind of break his...
Ooh, we got someone way up in the wall.
Yeah, looked like someone kind of missed the turn in there. but definitely seems like there was no real big incident there on lap 1, so that these guys are keeping clean so far on this big super speedway.
Murph underneath Peterson. This is for third, using that low line off of 3. Trying to tuck in behind Eckert to get the draft down the front. So he's going to go wide. He's going to go high. Teed purple lap that time. I-217-2. We're going to go 2 wide into the corner. Murph thinking about taking it 3 wide. Up high, not the way to go right now. Although we do see Forsyth up there.
Looks like the pack kind of got split up a little bit right where Eric Schaus is back here in 18th place. He's kind of been stuck in a little bit of this actual 2-3 wide action going on back here, but it looks like Eric actually has gotten to the front of that pack now, and hopefully they can close back up on that front pack there, or the middle of the field that's part of the front pack. Schaus has got a lot of pressure behind him right now from Gunnar Albright. Mark Cohen looks like he's recovered quite nicely from that incident before, and he's kind of in the mix as well. Schaus looks like he's going to make a move down here into turn 1. Our last race winner here, trying to make up some spots early.
Should be a fairly straightforward 2-stopper. Can they get to lap 33? I'm not sure if they can or not. This might actually be a 3-stopper with everyone going at about lap 25, 50, 75 at home. Is my guess with 80% fuel tanks. That is the rule set that we have for tonight. What are your thoughts there for getting to 25 laps on 80% fuel?
I think there's going to be some people that give it a try, especially people that know that they're racing around others that they can get draft off of. There's a good chance that some people are going to try and see what their fuel numbers are for the first 7 or 8 laps. If they could do it, they're going to really stick with it. But in order to do a strategy like that, you really need to commit to it right from the beginning. And if you even have 1 or 2 laps where you're not really able to get the draft off someone, then it's not going to be an advantageous one. So it'll be tough for sure, but you might see 1 or 2 people that are able to pull something like that off. Eric Schaus is right in the mix here. He's very close to the drivers around him. Some people have been swarming him a little bit. It's not good to be sitting right here in the middle of the pack where there's a lot of action going on and people trying to find any spot they can.
Yeah, they sense blood in the water if they see the defending series champion and the points leader a little bit further back in the pack. It's now your chance to kind of throw an uninhibited shot at the points leader while he's got a back in the pack right now, and he is kind of struggling. He's back in 17th, still a long race to go, and frankly, he can keep up with that group in front of him because they are still 2 wide, a couple rows deep up in front of him right now on the racetrack.
Well, they actually went 3 wide through turn 1 that time, which allowed them to fall back right into his spot. But Schaus has a lot of pressure. It looks like he's having a little bit of problem in turn 3 right now, getting through it. But he's got the draft of the next driver ahead of him. I believe that's Shane Coker up ahead of him. So as long as he's able to kind of stay in a single file line, he'll make some spots back. He just has to find the right amount of clean air to get the arrow on his wing there. It looks like he has a nice
car
run
spinning
here.
off the corner. That is Turner Johnson. And also Casey Pahutsky was coming to pit road for something, and Pahutsky is going to take advantage of this yellow because he'll be able to get whatever service he needs and get down and away and not have to worry about getting possibly put a lap down. But Turner Johnson off of turn 2, big shunt.
I think actually, yeah, that's a good call for Pahutsky, but he might have actually had a little bit of damage from that incident with Mark Cohen on lap 1 that he might have.
Yeah, we'll watch this as Turner Johnson, he's in a back there in a battle. I'm not sure who he's running with right there at that moment, but Johnson going high through 1 and 2. And it looks like the car that he's racing with just kind of comes up and gives it a little bit of a nudge, catches it, but then noses it into the wall, and he has the tow.
Gary, there was an incident in turn 2 after the caution came out. It looks like Shane Dinsdale got completely run over in turn 2 there, if you want to take a look at that.
All right, we're watching that right now. Dinsdale, in the blue car. He gets nailed, and the 18 runs through him. That's Haisong. Haisong did not cause that. That might have been the 23 of Tristan Fortson. They were just trying to slow down, and I think Tristan Not judging the closing rates a little bit there, kind of gets into the back of Dinsdale and sends Dinsdale around, and he's going to have to tow too. So a separate incident here on lap 8, unrelated, but, well, I guess it is related because everyone was slowing down because of the initial spin of Johnson off the 2. Dinsdale slowing down, gets run into from behind.
You never feel like when the caution comes out that you have a chance of being run over, but unfortunately these things happen and when there's a little bit of miscommunication in the back of the field. So it's really a shame, but it's not something that we haven't seen before. But it's still early on in the season. These guys are still getting to know each other, but we'll see how it goes from here. A lot of the cars are pitting now.
Leaders are coming to pit road. Several are staying out. When you do see a call for caution and you know you are around a bunch of cars, do you tend to kind of offset your car with the car in front of you and look behind you with the car behind you to try to not get run into behind, kind of like that? You try to do that?
You know, you never really want to plan for that. You kind of want to come down to the pit lane at your own lane and your own speed, but sometimes these things happen. You know, like you want to get a little bit of an advantage, and sometimes it gets hampered a little bit by some cars that may not be on the same speed as you. But you know, as long as you have a net positive time, you can usually jump a couple of cars. So I think that's it wasn't for some of those guys to offset, but hey, at least they got their pit lane service, and they just kind of file out where they may.
A number of cars stayed out. Yari decides to stay out and pick up the track position. Only 8 laps into the stint. Not a bad idea, especially now with the caution laps. They should be able to make this to 25 and then try to do 50, try to do 75 at that point, and then try to do this on 3 stops. But Yari is out front. Schaus has used this opportunity to gain some track position too. He stays in, moves on the racetrack, stays on the racetrack, moves up to 2nd. Luna Albright up to 3rd there in the AlphaTauri. And Brian Greenlee in the 38 moves up into 4th spot. Pahutsky stays out. He is 5th. That is the last car. And actually, Pahutsky, remember, came to pit road early, so he just rejoins the field. Now here comes Greenlee to pit road. He will cycle to the back. That will move everybody up 1 more position. So Pahutsky, just by coming to pit road and getting, I don't see him using a fast repair. So maybe he just manually had the work done.
He did some investigative work there, Gary. And it looks like actually Casey did have a broken front wing from that lap 1 incident.
Okay.
He dropped all the way to last place. So that pit stop was saying, hey, I can't drive this car for another 20 laps or so. So let me come in, repair the wing, and it really worked out for him in such a way that the caution came out and he lost no time. So no harm, no foul there. I think the car looks pretty sound right now. It's not broken in any way. So Casey's back in the mix again. He's currently sitting in
4th.
What is that? Oh, he's in 4th, yeah. So that was a net win for him. He comes in, gets his wing fixed. Everybody else comes in, and he gets all that spot back from the track position. A
very fortuitous caution. Plus, he gets new tires, where he is now the first car on new tires in this group, even though we just saw a whole bunch of cars behind him just come off of pit road. He is effectively on fresh tires. So right in front of him is Brubacher, Schaus, and Luna Albright. They are out on 10-lap old tires at the moment, which here at Pocono are pretty well worn at this point. What type of tire disadvantage are they at with 10-lap old tires?
It's very interesting because Pocono tends to be a track position kind of race. New tires don't really come into effect too much. They could have a little bit of a play, but honestly, if you're the ones that stay out, you have a little more advantage because of the track position, plus the fact that your fuel tank tends to be lower, so you can go a little faster down the straightaways, and not as easy for some of the guys that have just pit to keep up with you. So, and also you don't have the cold tires to worry about either. So, in the short term, it's a good thing to be the ones to stay out, but over the course of a whole stint, it could be different.
Weather conditions, 66 ambient, 81 on the track, temp green flag in the air. And that first 3 really start to pull away. I don't think Pahutsky got a good restart. He's really not with them. And they're already racing back for 4th with Wags and Eckert trying to get a drop on him. It should be noted Chris Stover also came in with a bit of a splash there at the end. So he is going to work the fuel mileage strategy.
Well, let's just take what I said into account right here. The top three did not pit. They have lighter tanks, so they're able to pull away a little bit. They have warmer tires. They've been through a heat cycle already, so pretty easy to get themselves all warmed up. And now you see it, that the top three had pulled away, and Casey Puhutsky was the first car that had pitted there.
Sorry, Tristan Fortson off of 3. Got a little loose and scoots to the inside. He's going to get freight trained by about 4 cars. He's going to try to get back in line.
I also think that Puhutsky didn't have the greatest start there, so that's why Eckert and Wagner have now surpassed him, and now they're going to work together to try and catch this front pack. But again, these guys in the front have less fuel, so they should theoretically be able to pull away a little bit. But with that third car in line, it's always very difficult to be that third car in line and try and place yourself right around those guys where you're not going to fall back a little bit to get those guys that just pit to come up to you again. But it's working effectively for that top 3 right now.
Eric Peterson with a full send on the outside of Puhutsky in 3. Move him up to 8th now. But meanwhile, up front, it is Brubacher, it is Albrecht, it is Schaus. The top 3 are battling out. They have broken away just a little bit from Rafi and Wags, but it looks like Rafi and Wags are already, as mentioned, starting to work with one another. Tried a little bit of a swath draft at the end of these long straights here at Pocono to try to get up to that top 3.
Eckert and Wagner definitely have a history. They've raced in the Area 51 series together, the kind of sister series to the Dark Horse here, so they know what it takes to work together and not really worry about who's leading when. And you could see that it only took 2-3 laps or so, but they're right up to that pack now, the guys that stayed out. So I think it's best that they just kind of stay where they are and kind of measure how the guys with the lower fuel are going, and then they could pounce, especially because they have no challenge from behind.
Riding with Rafi Eckert in the leader energy entry, and he sucked right up to the back of Wagner down Long Pond straight into 2. Thought about sending it to the inside and backed off. So I think these guys back here, Wags and Rafi, they're playing a little conservative right now, knowing that these top 3 eventually are going to have to come to pit road sooner rather than later. Although, interesting enough, the leaders coming down the front stretch are doing a bit of the weave, shuck and jive move, and I think it's a little early to be doing that here.
It's always a nice move to try and keep your front running position here with a little bit of a weave or a jive, as you put it. That's a nice way to put it, actually. I like it. But I agree. I think Wagner and Eckert know that they're in a different realm right now than the 3 guys ahead of them, so they're not really in any rush to get to the front. They just kind of want to measure how the guys are driving, maybe save a little bit of fuel in the process, and then when those guys peel off, they'll know exactly the lines they need to take in order to get ahead. But I think that'll only last for the fact that the 2 of those guys on the other strategy are ahead of the rest of the pack behind them, which is actually a very gnarly pack if you take a look at it.
Wags underneath Albrecht. Move Wags now up to 3rd. He is not wasting any time. We can only speculate that maybe they're back here saving fuel, but he looks like he wants to send that Joseph Newgarden car up to the front.
Well, I just was talking about that pack behind them, but I think they're starting to close up just little bits at a time. Those guys are starting to close up on them, so I'm sure Wagner is feeling the pressure a little bit, like, all right, let me try and make my way up through this pack a little bit here and see what I got going on. They haven't quite gotten there yet, 6 on back, but they are coming, and they're starting to get formed up in a nice way there.
Riding with Murphy now as he rips the top through 1, modeled after Trenton, a track that no longer exists, but was a staple on the IndyCar calendar, at least through the USAC and early kart days. Turn 2 based upon Indianapolis, then turn 3 based upon the mile in Milwaukee. A truly unique track built with the sole purpose of IndyCars in mind, even though IndyCars don't race here anymore. I
would like to see a race at Trenton, personally.
Yeah.
That's really close to where I'm at in the country right now. So if there was a race there, I'd be there every year.
That was a bit of a unique looking track. It was configured to look a little bit like a kidney bean. I think it was a little bit more than a mile long. And instead of, you know how Phoenix has the dog leg left? Trenton had a dog leg right down the backstretch. So it was kind of a weird configuration. But for the longest time, yeah, USAC and the early kart days, they raced there 2 times a year until they had to, it just became so old and no one really kept it up. They just kind of tore it down, kind of along the same lines of like a lot of other tracks in the very early 80s that they just kind of stopped going to after a while.
Sounds like one of those things like Nazareth, almost kind of the same way.
That's painful right there. That was just painful. That was a
I'm
modern
sorry.
track they would go. Yeah.
I shouldn't have brought it up.
Schaus to the lead now over Brubacher. Wags in third, Eckert fourth, Albrecht in fifth, Murph and Forsyth. We were just riding with those two, and they are trying to swap the position and to get back into this top 4. And they're almost there.
Well, if you take a look at what these guys are running right now, I believe that we're about 12 laps away, 10 to 12 laps away from that front 3 that didn't pit, about to pit. They were able to hang out there as best they could. It's not a bad strategy to try and get that track position. But they're going to be coming down the pit lane pretty soon.
Yeah, they are 19 laps into their stint, so we would expect to see them anytime inside the next 10 laps or so. And this is one of the courses that we talk about. It's so big that if you pit from the lead, you should not lose a lap.
So I'm trying to remember. Ari, Eric, and Luna, I believe, that were the 3 that stayed out, correct?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it was Schaus, Brubacher, Luna, and also we want to throw into that same group Pahutsky, but he's back to 16th right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's possible that Pahutsky might be carrying a little extra damage that we didn't see from that incident with Cone on lap 1, but unfortunately, looks like Luna has fallen a little bit there through the pack, but Yari and Eric still continue to run up front after staying out there. So that just proves that the track condition around Pocono is king more than any of them. Matt Wagner is doing everything he can to
car
kind of
into the grass off of 1. That is John Martin.
Wow, that was quite a save right there for sure.
And he's through the grass. That car was trying to bite loose.
There's a lot of bumps down there. So
yeah, it is. This is
the go down that way. That's it.
This is the old rougher version of the race course.
Wonder if a gopher quickly said hi as he went by. Oddly enough, John there didn't seem to fall back too far. He's actually with a little bit of a packer here. Some guys that have fallen back from the pack from early on in this race, Stover included.
To the inside, Brubacher over Schaus, gets the position. Exit off of 3 down the longest front straightaway in all of Sim Oval Racing.
This is great news for Eric Schaus, who started the race kind of mid-pack there and had a lot of drama around him, and now he finds himself with the track position up front. He may have to pit soon, but if he goes off strategy a little bit, it's better than him battling 6 or 7 cars around him that he really didn't want to battle when he came into this race. And we'll have to see what happens from there. But Wagner seems to be saving fuel because I think he has a little bit more pace than Schaus does, but he seems to be kind of holding back a little bit to save a little bit of that fuel and maybe kind of cut out a little bit of the fuel intake he'll need on the last stop.
Yeah, I mean, why race the guys in front of you if you know they're going to pit?
It really loses you nothing.
Yeah,
especially if you're only like 7/10 behind. Might as well just stay there, save a little bit of the fuel.
Exactly.
And then when you get the clean air, just go for it.
Because once they get out of the way, you will be leading the pack, and you will be your fuel economy won't be as good as it was before. So take advantage of these guys in front of you. This is where we're at lap 25 of 100, or a quarter of the way through this thing. Only one caution to this point. Warren Rogers to the inside of Vitor. Going to 1, and unfortunately at this point in the run, especially with these tires, although Rogers really making the car rotate on the bottom, normally the high side is the preferred line, as we're going to go 3 wide down the Long Pond straight into 2, and we got to get single file or at least double file here real soon, or it's going to tighten up when we get down to 2. Whoa, that was tight.
Didn't quite make it.
No.
Yeah, that was very close.
Right behind him is Lewis Hayes. Lewis Hayes has not had the greatest race. He started up front down 9 spots, but he's sticking to the end of his tail lead pack. And that's half the battle right there. I forget what the pit road speed limit is here. I might have to have you double check. It might be either 50 or 55.
It's 50.
50, okay. And this is a 2.5 mile triangular super speedway oval. We're doing 100 laps, 250 miles, one of our longest races of the year. 80% fuel, unlimited tires, 1 fast repair. The IndyCar track record set back in 2014 and with a lap of 2:23.8 was Juan Pablo Montoya. AJ Foyt has 4 wins here. That should be shocking to absolutely nobody. Rick Mears has 3 wins here. You know who's tied with Rick Mears for the most all-time, second most all-time wins here at Pocono?
Will Power?
Will Power, that is correct. Will Power, more of one of your super recent modern era drivers, the ones that we still see on a weekly basis. Yeah, he had 3 wins here when IndyCar returned here, believe it or not. He has
2 of them.
He has 5 500-mile race wins. 1 at Indianapolis, 1 at California, and 3 here. And he ranks actually in the top 5 all-time in IndyCar history with those 5 500-mile wins.
Pocono was a race that I was going to many years when the IndyCars went here. And as a Will Power fan, I remember stuff like that. So I know I saw Will Power's 2 wins, especially the rain-shortened one. Don't forget that one. We saw clouds looming over turn 3, and my clan was like, let's get out of here because it's going to pour.
Luna Albrecht into the wall off of turn 3, and we are under caution right when those leaders need to come to pit road.
Yeah, so that pit road, I would be certain of that.
We'll watch this again. Luna to the inside of one of the admin cars. I believe that is Teed. Yeah, Teed with the black rims. And they're side by side through 3. Teed gets really close, and maybe there's netcode there.
Oh, Gary, this hurts me deep down because this is very reminiscent of my Indy 500 demise from today.
Oh, no.
Very, 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 very similar incident there. I was Luna, unfortunately. Kind of riding around the outside. Someone's there on the inside, and then a little bit of a netcode hit right at the exit there that kind of turns you around, and it's all she wrote.
That was pretty awful netcode. I mean, we'll look at this here as I'll try to illustrate this. I mean, look how much space is between these cars right here, and then just not even making contact and just boop, right on around. Feel bad for Albrecht there. That is that is almost the worst case of netcode that you can experience with these cars.
I wish I could say I feel doubly as bad because that was me. If you rewind the clock about 7 or 8 hours, it's the same exact incident. So, yeah, but Luna is still going. Luna is still driving around, so we'll see if there's a little bit of a fast repair situation going on there. But I think this really does help Eric Schaus. And I mean, if there's anybody that feels like they needed a bone thrown to them after how Eric started the race, it's this. So Eric and Yari are going to get quite a bonus here. I'm pretty sure everyone's coming down pit road here. Like you mentioned, it's going to be very close for a fuel save for 33 or so. You'll see a couple of the guys in the back stay out and do something a little bit different. and that's definitely going to pay out for them if some things change about 15 or 20 laps from now. So let's see what happens.
I wonder, Stouffer, does he come to pit road? Yes, Stouffer does come to pit road. He came in for a splash and go right before the restart last time. He's worked his way up to 13th. I thought maybe he might stay out for some track position, but he's coming to pit road. Wags on pit road, Eckert on pit road, everybody on pit road. There are some cars that are staying out, and I believe they're attempting to try to get their lap back. But here we go. Eckert off of pit road. Then Wags Murphy. Schaus had a bit more of a larger fill in the tank that he needed to perform on pit road, and that's why he comes in the leader, but comes off of or comes in among the leaders, but comes out in fourth because he had to put more fluid in the tank. Forsyth in fifth. Brubacher, much the same situation with Schaus. Had to put more in the tank. He falls back to sixth. Peterson, seventh. Lovern, eighth. Warren Rogers, ninth. And Vitor in 10th. Staying out looks like it is nobody stayed out. Everyone decided to come in.
Turner Johnson, I think he wants to get his lap back.
Yeah,
that's the only one. I'm surprised actually. I would have thought that more cars might have wanted to come in to, or sorry, more cars wanted to stay out to get a little bit more track position. I'm not really sure. I would have maybe rolled the dice, especially if I was saying 17, 18, 19. Just stay out and see what happens. I'm sure they don't like racing in the back there with those guys with the dirty air. So I'm curious to see what the strategy play is going from here, because you can't make it on one more stop from here unless you do a super, super save.
Leo Salvador coming off of pit road. Mark Cohn, the Watchman, who won a handful of races last season, still on pit road. Now he's rolling off as the pace car coming off of turn 3, so he needs to hustle it to work his way back around on this race course. The lights are now out on the pace car. If you enjoy our coverage of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by The Joy of Driving and you respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing, and while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so don't miss out on future P1 iRacing broadcasts.
We got our big mover so far. Eric Schaus obviously is the biggest mover right now, and that's great for him after where he started. So he's going to restart in fourth. Looks like also Brubacher. Yeah, obviously Brubacher definitely had his strategy play there, so he's able to come out in P6. Also from the back, it looks like Tristan Fortson, even with his earlier issue there with Dinsdale under the caution, he's managed to find himself in P15 right now. So good for Tristan. From this restart right now, I don't really think that we're going to see a lot of movement here. I think we're just kind of figuring out where we're sitting in the pack right now.
Dark Horse Racing Series is presented by The Joy of Driving. Follow Mark Cohn's Sim Racing Adventures, full of sharp driving and sharp wit. Subscribe on YouTube or follow on Facebook. The links are in the description. Tonight's race is also brought to you by 4D Racewear and SimWrap Market. Check out 4D Racewear's line of made-for sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in the description. And SimWrap Market, your go-to resource for iRacing paint, templates, and broadcast resource. SimWrap Market has everything you need to build your brand on track. Visit simwrapmarket.com. Download, customize, race. Green flag at lap 34. We are just over a third of the way through this thing. It is Eckert, Wags, Murph, Schaus, and Forsyth. Your top 5 as we are spinning in the back of the pack. That is Leo Salvador and Dinsdale involved, and they coming up to speed. No caution. See what happens here.
There was just a little bit of a checkup there for sure. I think, I'm not really sure. I think it was Presley that was trying to get a run there, and then all of a sudden, I think it was Salvador, like you said.
Well, we got a couple black flags. Presley with the black flag. I think Eric Anderson was the one that caused the contact and caused the car to come around. There we go. He is forgiven a little bit that his wing snaps back into place. Presley gets the double whammy. He passes before the start-finish line and also has a damaged front wing, so he is going to have to come to black.
Wreck out of one.
Rogers. And we're still green right now.
John Martins.
There's a caution.
Yeah, I believe John Martins got touched a little bit on. He just got completely hit from someone that was going for a long. That there was a car on the bottom that just washed all the way up the track, and poor Martins got collected in that one. I'm trying to see who that was.
Oh, that's Rogers kind of came up and door checked a little bit. Martin goes to the inside, smacks the wall. That was a pretty hard hit. So did Warren. He smacked the wall, pretty hard inside hit. If he could drive that back around, he can get the fast repair. But I think it was Martin's coming back out on the racing line, and doing that right there is kind of what brought out the caution. So now we got some weird stuff going on because there's a number of people with black flags. And now we're under caution, so what happens to those black flags? Do they still have to answer them? Do they go away? I don't think black flags ever go away automatically, so I still think they have to answer them, but there's a little bit of shakeup and confusion in the field right now.
I'm going to be honest with you, Gary. The black flag sensation going on is a little foreign to me. I wonder if it's just kind of like a passing to the left before you get to the...
Yeah, I think that's what it
black.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think there was definitely an issue with... I think Leo Salvador was the one who felt like everybody was going. And some of the cars that were ahead of him were trying to push a little bit to try and go. And it just left a big calamity of cars that were trying to figure out where exactly they were on the restart. And it just didn't really pay off very well, especially for Dinsdale. Dinsdale was one of the cars. I can't remember who the other one was. Looks like the black flags are actually cleared now that we talk about it.
Okay, so the black flags were cleared by admins, but we're going to see who's going to come to pit road, and everybody's coming to pit road. Eckert's coming to pit road. Schau's coming to pit road. Forsythe's Murphy's going to stay out, and Brubacher's going to stay out. I think that's a good gamble right now.
This is definitely one of those situations where you're saying, okay, well, we're not going to cut this race into threes, but we can cut this race into something a little different. Someone's blinking there on pit road. I believe that was Treston. Treston's having a little bit of connection issue right now. But anybody pitting right now is kind of going for a little different strategy. They're going to say, okay, I'm going to sit in the back a little bit, but those guys ahead of me are going to pit on a full speed run. And you may actually be able to save a little bit of fuel from here. So I like this strategy a little bit. You're going off sequence a tad. You're not really going to be sitting out front just waiting for someone to make a move. As long as one of these guys gets to the front of this pack, it could be good.
And I see in chat someone said, check my DMs, and I responded. There you go. In case anyone is wondering, if you are interested about this league, I do have, if you'd like to see and be part of future races here in the Dark Horse Racing Series, there is a link to their Discord server. It's an invite. It's in the description. You can click there and join the Discord server. Learn more today. The car is free. The DW12 is free. It's part of your base subscription package on iRacing. Joining the league, I believe, is free. They do encourage donations, as they should. All you need is really the desire and the tracks on the schedule. If you think you got what it takes to race with these guys here in the Dark Horse Racing Series, we encourage you to at least join the Discord to learn more today. Here is the schedule, in case anyone is wondering. This is only the second race of the season. It is a pretty spread out season through most of the second half of this year. The next race after this is June 1st at Gateway, then June 22nd at Iowa, July 13th at Kentucky, July 27th at Auto Club, then Legacy, Michigan on August 17th, the only race in August. Then September, there's only one race at New Hampshire. And then they will wrap up at Indianapolis October 5th. That is the schedule. Only 9 races, but it's pretty well spread out. So if you'd like to participate, it is not a very time-consuming series. And it's one of those series that's always been around. You could always count on it. And the racing in the series, even though it has a fast repair, is pretty clean for the most part. Now, the first race that we had, this was a little rough, but I think that's just, we were talking about that a little bit, Andrew. The first races are always, no matter the series, a little rough because it's kind of a get-to-know-you type race for everybody in the entire series.
Any first race of a league I join, I always just want to finish. You never want to go into a race saying, I'm going to win this, I'm going to win this. Whenever you're racing people, especially new people that have never raced with you before, you don't know what their habits are. You don't know what their strategy is. You just want to get through the race without an incident, and then you could build from that. So you basically just say, okay, I'm going to go into a new league, a new series. I want to keep my car clean. If I finish 25th place, great. I at least saw what everybody around me is doing, and you could build from there. So it's better to finish 25th than be wrecked out and have an early night.
And we are coming to green this time by the top 11 did not stop. The top 11 did not stop on this last round of pit stops. So that's Murph, Brubacher, Wags, Lovren, and Peterson, your top 5. And Hayes, Pahutsky, Vitor, Coker, Averett, Johnson, and actually Presley is honestly on a different schedule as well, though the top 12 really on a different schedule than everyone else behind them. Here we go, green flag in the air. We are back racing at lap 38, coming to 39.
Looks pretty clean out the back. We got a 4 wide going on. Oh, okay, back to 3 wide for P11.
Oh, and we're watching Stouffer, Forsyth, Eckert, Schaus. They're all together down the Long Pond Straight as we are coming up to lap 40. We're almost 100 miles into this thing.
Looks like Eckert almost kind of moved out of line a little bit to give Schaus some air there to draft up, which allowed Schaus to get a couple spots. We're going 3 wide into 3 right now. I find that interesting. I'm wondering if Eckert did that on purpose or if that just happened to be where he wanted to put his car. So I see things like that, and I wonder if Eckert's working with Schaus in some way.
Maybe paying him back for working with them earlier in the race. They trust you now. Meanwhile, back up front, it is Wags back to the lead, then Brubacher. Murph around Brubacher now on the high side. Lovren to 3rd. Brubacher back to 4th. Lewis Hayes now sneaking up to 4th on the high side. Through turn 2, bringing with him is Eric Peterson in the red rims.
We haven't talked much about Gary Lovren tonight, and Gary Lovren is one of those guys that kind of just sits quietly, and he's not always kind of flashy up front, but he manages to find a way to tuck himself into a nice spot where he could take advantage of a potential issue for cars ahead, and you see him sitting here in 3rd place.
Oh, car in the wall off the corner. Tristan Fortson, as he is already towed.
We were just talking about Tristan Fortson before, that he was one of our highest climbers.
Goodness.
And unfortunately, Brian Greenlee also looks like he is very much damaged right now. I think Brian Greenlee's done for the day. Fortson,
I think, cleared the screen and auto-towed to the infield. So unfortunately, 2 more cars are out. Back up front, though, the top 5, top 7, all tightly close together. And we're going to go 3 wide down the Long Pond Straight to the inside. That is Peterson.
Rafi Eckert is trying to make some moves here now. He's went way down low in turn 2. Didn't really make so much out of it, but we're starting to pack up a lot now, Gary. Like, all bets are off right now. We had a lot of single file racing going on before, maybe a little bit of fuel saving, but I think where we sit right now, these guys are trying to go for it.
And here comes the Pocono whisperer, Chris Stouffer up to 2nd. Now getting ready to pull alongside Wags to get a run on him down the Long Pond in the 2. This is the guy that, and whenever you come to Pocono, if he's in the lineup, you need to watch him. And to no one's surprise, he is fighting for the lead right now through 2.
Oh, this pack at the middle part of the top 10 is getting wild. You see
Schaus.
Eric Schaus is going for it. Eric Schaus is like, I am not waiting anymore. I am not surprised to see Schaus trying to get aggressive right now. And this is what Eric Schaus is good at. He knows where his car is compared to everybody else. And he's made a lot of moves going up front right now. He had a little bit of a lucky strategy getting his... Oh, my goodness. That was very close with Pohotsky. Pohotsky really tried to give him a run, but now Pohotsky's held up this entire pack going down the back straightaway.
Season 7, we had our second race of the season here as well. Eckert was on the pole.
This pack is getting wild.
Yeah, it is.
Turn 3 right now.
Oh, we're going to go 3 wide, 4 wide in the corner there. Schaus got the win here.
He's kind of lost. Yep, Pohotsky kind of lost right in the middle there. Lewis Hayes got a little bit sidetracked there, and Charles Teed didn't really have anywhere to go. Teed has no speed down the front straight right now. Craig Forsyth tends to save a little bit of fuel here, and looks like that's exactly what he did. He wanted to tuck into a nice little cubby there. So Forsyth is going to stay right behind Teed right now, and Pohotsky is going to lead this pack, which is kind of falling back a little bit from the front pack.
Eckert to the inside on Pohotsky. Actually, excuse me, that's Vitor. Excuse me. We got 2 identical cars out there for the most part. And he Brazilian slide and a Brazilian clear on Pohotsky.
Yari, unfortunately, is sitting all by himself on the inside line there as they're all stacked up single file, and Yari's going to lose a couple spots here, but we'll see what happens as we go into turn 1.
Oh, Peterson with a big slide job on Murph. The last time we were here, though, in the Dark Horse car, we had a 500-miler here, and that was back in September of last year. Murphy was on the pole, Stouffer with the win, so no surprise that Stouffer's the leader.
Stouffer definitely has another gear in Pocono.
Oh,
and that's something that we've seen.
That wasn't a very aggressive move. I was wondering maybe if he got spooked down there. Or... Now Murphy is not in a good position. He's on the inside with no draft help.
I'm still trying to figure out that Schaus move there. It looked like he had almost like a hardware problem or something like that. He just pulled way out of line, way to the left, and kind of strange, but he seems to be okay now. Just kind of hanging in it.
There he goes again to the inside of Peterson. And does he try to send it to the inside of Wags?
Wow.
No, he's going to stay high.
That was something right there. Schaus just went for a move and then kind of tucked in where there was exactly 1 car length worth. We see one what am I trying to call it? You see one mode of Schaus right now. Schaus either kind of sits there and chills, or he's like, no, it's my time to go for it. And with a move like that, you could definitely say he's going for it.
Very analog at the moment, either on or off. And right now, the aggression level is on. Yes.
Analog is a great word. That's exactly what I was kind of looking for right there. But Schaus is sitting in third right now. You can see Murph is kind of in the same mode right now, and he hits 2 different modes as well. He wants to save, or he wants to go for it. I'm sure he's watching what Schaus is doing, and if I was behind Schaus, I'd say, okay, you make all the moves for me, and I'll just take advantage of anything that's coming my way. And I think that might be working for him right now. And right behind him, Rafi Eckert is also feeling very racy. So we got some very racy guys here, Gary, and even behind, look at this. We got Eric Peterson. I did see that Husky hit the wall.
Peterson ripping the top there. And now we see Stouffer. He's doing the snake, but no one's following him right now.
One thing I will say is that there's a cloud right now over the track. The cloud is definitely making the track temp probably a little bit cooler. These guys are able to run a little bit more in a pack race formation. But we got to be talking about pit stops soon, Gary, right? We're halfway through the race. I imagine we're going to be talking about pit stops probably like 56, 57 for most of these guys.
Yeah, we are for those that stopped on lap 32. We are 19 laps in. For those that stopped at lap 37, we are 14 laps in. So I expect those that stop at 37 another 10 more laps or so. Those that stop at 32 another 5 laps or so before they come in. And those that stopped at that have the 19 on this current stint. Wags, your leader. Murphy in 4th. Lovern in 5th. Eckert in 7th. Or excuse me, Peterson in 7th. He is 19 laps in. Pahutsky 19 laps in. Vitor 19 laps in. Lewis Hayes 19 laps in. Now hitting 20 laps in.
This pack has definitely kind of settled out a little bit. I mean, there's some side-by-sides going on and everything like that, but like no one's really trying to get their way to the lead too much. But you could tell from 7th to 8th, it's starting to break apart a little bit. Husky's having a little bit of a hard time catching up, but looks like he's actually caught quite a draft there. Husky might be making a move here on Eric Peterson.
Pahutsky in that James Hinchcliffe Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports Aero. Sponsored DW12 Aero car there. If you watch the little special they had on Fox today, Hinch talked about the wreck he had where he became, I think he said, a Hinch kebab in that car.
Great, you could joke about that now.
He's the one. No, look. He's the one that joked about it on the documentary. I'm not joking about it.
If he could joke about it, anybody can.
He can, yeah. And he had a portion of the suspension impale him, and very seriously injured him. In fact, it was very touch and go. And he ended up waking up at Methodist Hospital and was out for a year, and then came back the next year to sit on the pole for the 500. So that he's had just about he sat on the pole, missed the race. The racetracks tried to kill him. Just about everything has happened to Hinch at the 500 except winning it. I think if he were to ever do that, and I don't think he's going to race anymore, I think he's found a future in the booth. He would be a pretty popular winner.
Speaking of popular situations here, Gary, it's getting very tight. There seems to be a lot of door slamming, side-by-side, all sorts of situations going on here. Yari just kind of pulled off the track and said, you know what? You guys all go ahead and fight. I want to be safe. And now he's in the middle of a 3-wide because of the fact that he pulled out. Yari's close out of turn 1 there, but now that the cloud has appeared here, I think the track temp is going down a little bit, and people are getting a little bit feisty, but we are getting very close to pit stops here, if I might guess.
Yeah.
The fact that these guys are all kind of piling up into turn 2, I think something might happen before that, but let's see if these guys behave themselves as they all kind of spread out in every line in the 3.
Oh, Cone in the middle, 3 wide off the corner. Getting obstructed there by the starter stand, but we are tight quarters up front of Pahutsky. As we were talking about that livery, he is now your leader. Schaus in 2nd, Wags in 3rd, Stouffer back to 4th, Murphy in 5th. And I'm wondering if maybe some of those drivers a little bit further back are trying to save fuel, and Pahutsky's like, I see an opportunity to go up front and lead some laps and get some TV time leading here, as they are all just really bundled up from about Peterson on back.
I'm watching this pack from about 15th place, and I could tell people in turn 2 do not know what line they want to take. Everybody's kind of trying to save a little bit, or they're piling full speed into it. I think if we're going to see an incident there,
and that is terminal damage to Coker's car.
Caution.
No caution yet.
There, yep.
He's trying to bring that car to pit road, and he is just not going to be able to do it. He's got cars still behind him.
It looks like it was a miscommunication. There were cars that were starting to lift on the high side going into 1, which is very, very common for this situation. And I think he might have been trying to see where he could fit his car to go on the inside of turn 1. and there was no room there, and the car stacked up, and he reacted really fast and put himself into the wall.
Oh, yeah, Turner. I think Turner Johnson was to his inside. I think it's kind of one of his teammates. And maybe didn't realize how close he was or something. He got kind of into the wall before the corner, tried to turn out of it. And the walls here, they just reach out and grab you.
It's a magnet for sure.
Meanwhile, back up front is Pahutsky and Schaus now as they start to inch away from Wags. Pahutsky's going to have to come to pit road sooner rather than later. Schaus a little bit behind him, but Schaus saving fuel. Pahutsky now pulling away. This duo now pulling away by about 4/10 over Stouffer. Let's get you gaps here now. The draft envelope of these cars does not extend as far back as the IR18 does. So the draft envelope is anywhere between 0.6 to 1 second, and they are right at the border of that from breaking it.
Just kind of waiting to see when these cars are going to decide to pit. But I'm watching this turn 2, Gary. Like, these cars are really trying to figure out where they're placed and who's on the inside, who's on the outside. And turn 3 turns into a mess as well. I think there's going to be a situation where we're going to see a car that tries to really stuff it into turn 3, and the next thing you know, there's a car on the outside there. But hopefully we can make it through it here and get to the next caution. Next pit stop, brother.
Yeah, get to the next pit stop.
Lewis Hayes in the wall. I think I manifested that. I'm sorry. Lewis Hayes got put into the wall a little bit. Mark Averett decided to kind of keep it a little bit low, but I think everyone's okay after that.
And now the snake is being done a little bit more aggressively and being followed a little bit more in depth down the straightaway. Car in the wall off of 2. Might have been a bit of a netcode reaction. At lap 61. Thanks for joining us. Coming to pit stops here relatively soon. You're watching round 2 of the Dark Horse Racing Series. Presented by the Joy of Driving. We are at Legacy Pocono for a 250-mile event. Gary Lovern in a battle back there with Vitor. Right behind Vitor is his teammate Rafi. Rafi very experienced in these cars.
Husky is feeling very comfortable out front right now. This is kind of a new spot for him, really. He's usually kind of sitting right in the middle of the top 10, and he's a little bit uncomfortable trying to find the clean air to get himself forward. But, I mean, if you look back at how the race started for him, he had an incident lap 1 where he got his front wing ripped off. So I'm sure at that moment he said, well, okay, this race is pretty much done for me. Gets lucky with a caution. And gets back into the race, has a little bit more of a battle with some guys in the middle of the pack, and next thing you know, everybody's kind of lifting and saving, and now he finds himself out front. So maybe Casey feels very comfortable where he is right now, and I think that's very good for him. And I'm hoping that when the pit stops come around, he's ready to lead the cars down pit lane. So good on Casey.
Casey up 18 spots. Schaus up 15 spots. 2 by 2. Wags, Murph, Vitor, Lovern going into 1.
Pit stops are coming, Gary. I think Yari is coming in this lap. If Yari's coming in, then I'm sure he's going to bring a couple people with him.
So Yari, he's on 32 laps into this stint. So Pahutsky also your leader. On 32 laps. I would imagine he is coming in as well. We'll get the camera on him. We'll see what they look like going through turn 3. Does he make that turn down to the apron? No. But Yari is, as you mentioned. And you have to really woe your car down really fast here because the cones are right there at the wall. And here he comes into his stall. Hits his marks.
Well, taking stock right now. So this is lap 65. So we got 35 laps for Yari to do. That's a very, very tough haul, especially with this fuel tank situation.
Yeah, he went
here.
32 last time.
So I think Yari's going to need a little bit of caution to help him. But any lap now, these guys are going to be peeling off. I believe.
Here comes the leader, Putski now.
A couple more.
And he slows down very conservatively, but he gets down to the limit well before the cones. We saw right behind him, that was Wags. Wags made some ground up by the conservative approach that Pahutski did. But again, I'm not faulting that approach. I think that was a good, solid, safe approach, especially at this point in the race. The last thing you want to do is get yourself a black flag and caution on the racetrack.
And this helps the people that just pitted because they did not go a lap down.
And I'm not sure who had a problem. Luna Albrecht. Oh, just came in hot.
Yes, that was a pit in wreck.
And so this is going to be interesting now for everybody because now they could come to pit road, and it's going to be close to be able to make it all the way. Mathematically, they say it's possible, but can you put that practice into play here?
Well, I feel like that actually helped guys that just actually pit now. Like it gives them a couple of laps of yellow.
Yeah.
But it also gives them back to the front again.
Yeah.
So I'm sure everybody's going to pit here. Those guys will be leading, and I think it might just be a tad short to make to the end of the race, but it's enough to make it very interesting for sure.
Well, I think if we get one more caution between now and the end, and again find something wood to knock on. Okay. I don't want to wish
I'm right
here. If we get one more caution, I don't think those that just stop now should be okay if we get one more caution. I would think.
I would almost presume that we're getting to the end of the race now, and people are going to want to try and find a couple spots here and there. I think there will be another caution. I'll call it right now. The Woods call.
The Woods call. Schaus, Stouffer, Murph.
Is that a thing?
Well, we can. The Woods call of the race right there. Schaus, Stouffer, Murph, Lovern, and Vitor all coming to pit road. Right behind him is Rafi, Peterson, Forsyth, John Martins, and I think it's Yonatus Martins, but I have a fraternity brother that I used to go to school with named John Martin, so I'll just call him that. It's just easier to come out of my mouth that way. But John, DM me over on the Dark Horse Discord if you with the proper name, proper pronunciation of your name, and we'll make sure we say it going forward. But right now, today, you're John. So as you mentioned, those that came to pit road are all staying out. So that's Yari. That's Tim Presley in second now. We saw Tim Presley earlier this race get presented with a black flag and a new a damaged wing. He has a new wing. He is now second. Wags is in third. Pahutski fourth. Turner Johnson fifth. Averett in sixth. And then that whole group that just stopped, led by Stouffer in seventh. And Presley blinking out there. And Coker will get the wave around here momentarily. He is now going to be one lap down. And he will get the wave around right before we go green. So Brubacher in the catbird seat right now, leading this thing. Coming to lap 69 as we are in the late stages now of this race now. As we are coming up on the 200-mile mark, I think. What are we at here? Let's do the math right, Gary.
Roughly. Yeah. I'm looking. Actually, it looks like Lewis Hayes might have had an issue. He's dropping to the back, so maybe he had a pit issue there that he's entering. Also, looking at some of our fans in the YouTube chat. Looks like we got Schaus's other half is watching right now. And we got a Vitor Guilherme fan there. And some shout-outs for P1, of course. So thank you guys for watching. It's very, very cool to have some fans here watching for the Dark Horse second round of the season.
And if you're just joining us, welcome everybody. This is P1's broadcasting coverage of the Dark Horse Racing Series, presented by the Joy of Driving, coming to you from Pocono Raceway for the Watchman 250, where we have now completed 69 of 100 laps. Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. Dark Horse Race Series is presented by the Joy of Driving. You can follow Mark Cohn's sim racing adventures, full of sharp driving and sharp wit. You can subscribe on YouTube or follow him on Facebook. All the links you need are in the description. Mark there in 15th spot. Tonight's race also been brought to you by 4D Racewear. Check out their line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in the description. And also, SimWrap Market is your go-to source for iRacing paint templates and broadcast resources. SimWrap Market has everything you need to build your brand on track. Visit simwrapmarket.com. Download Customize Race. All the links you need, of course, are in the description. Let's go back to racing here as we are going to go green at lap 70. Lights are out on the pace car. Your leader is Yari Brubacher. JB has the lead over Tim Presley in second, Wags in third, Pahutsky in fourth, Turner Johnson in fifth. It's going to be an interesting 30-lap sprint to the end, and can we do it without any splash and dashes at the end?
I have no idea, Gary. I have no idea what I'm expecting right now. I just want a clean restart. I want to see these guys really battle. I don't want any fuel saving right now. I want to see these guys go for full blast. If it were me, I want to say to myself, there will be another caution. I'm not going to save fuel. I want to go to the front. And I know one person in the field that feels the same way, and that's Christopher. Christopher does not want to save fuel.
Yeah,
he wants to go for it. So I'm watching exactly what Stouffer does. If Stouffer wants to go for it, he's going to go for it. So.
Well, going forward is Wags on the inside of Presley into the tunnel turn, and he clears him, and he's going to get a big run on Brubacher, and he's going to get a position into three, and we are all stacked up behind him right now going through two behind Aver. We're going to go four wide through turn three.
Schaus almost got completely walled right there. He dodged a big one from, I don't know who that was. They went three wide briefly into two, and I think Schaus got sandwiched a little bit and then hit on the outside, but he continues to go. Oh, he's hit again by Craig. I believe that's Forsyth on the bottom. Yeah, he hit his left rear a little bit. Wow, it's getting very, very tight back here, and this is exactly what I wanted. Exactly how I mentioned it here, Gary. You can see these guys. It's very interesting to watch how they drive turn two, because some guys want to save a little bit, some guys want to go for it, and then they all converge right in the middle of turn two. And it's very interesting to see what lines these guys take.
Three wide for the lead. It is Wags, Brubacher, and Presley up high. Now they're sorted out. Presley to the bottom. Wags stays high. Brubacher in the middle. Now we're going three wide off the corner down the Long Pond Straight. We need to get situated before we get to the tunnel turn, and we are going to do it four wide right behind him.
Four wide for fifth.
Whoa, Averett. Oh, threading the needle.
Turn two strikes again, Gary. I have no other words to say there. Looks like Averett got kind of pushed wide in turn three, lost a couple spots there, but we continue on. I think we're going to see the same thing next lap. Possibly a 3-4 wide going on. They're 3 wide for the lead again.
Back to the lead.
If that was me in the lead,
Presley.
I'd be like, let's sort ourselves out.
Yeah, no kidding. I'll be like, come on, guys, let's work together, and then we can decide this amongst ourselves in the final 10 laps. But as Brubacher, Wagner, Presley racing like it's the last lap right now, all diving into turn one, 3 abreast. Now 2 wide for P2 through turn 2, coming to turn 3, and they're going to be lined up once again 3 wide down the straightaway here at Pocono, as they're going to use this big long straight and the draft just to be on top of one another one more time.
Looks like a little contact down the front straightaway there for 4th place, but I think everyone's okay. I think Schaus is kind of had enough at this point.
It's like get your car in a position and hold your line, but man, the cars are dancing. And Murph, slide job on Schaus. Oh, car in the wall off a 2, and that is Eric Anderson. And that's going to be a tow for him. His race is going to be at least 1 lap down using the fast repair on pit road. And there he tows. And now, interesting, what do you do? Do you come to pit road or do you stay out? Do you go for an extra set of tires or do you stay out for the track position? I think I know your answer, Andrew, but go right ahead.
You're going to stay on track for track position.
That's what I thought you'd say. There's going to be somebody back there that's going to throw caution to the wind, hopefully not being our next caution, and they're going to go for a new set of tires and full send it into 1 and 2 on the opening on this restart. But I agree with it. I think everybody that's going to stay out here for the most part up front.
Poor choice of analogy, Gary. You could find another one other than caution to win. Yeah,
I can say full send, Gary. Okay, full send, yeah.
But listen, I called it. Turn 2 is kind of a cesspool right now. You got guys that are saving a little bit, guys that are pushing, and you're always going to find a situation where there's guys that are going for an extra little bit there. And unfortunately for Eric Anderson there, I don't know if he was trying to find some clean air or anything like that, but Coker unfortunately had a little bit of contact with him there. And I'm watching these guys in the 5th, 6th, 7th place area really trying to see, like, okay, I can pick up 2 spots here. It's very hard to do that, so don't go for it, but you can easily lose a lot more if you just kind of hang out a little bit behind and maybe go for it in 3.
And here comes Pahutsky. He's going to go for that gamble and throw on a new set of tires here and full send it here in this closing portion of the race. Luna Albrecht checks in from the medical facility. Brand new to these cars, made an awful mistake with the brakes. It happens. These brakes, especially these DW12s on the ovals, they're not meant to stop like they are on the road courses, and it's very easy to lock them up. So keep learning. You're doing pretty good. Rachel Schaus says, this gives me so much anxiety. I feel like an actual race wife. That reminds me. Did you see the Fox special before qualifications on Fox today? The Road to Indy, or the Indianapolis IndyCar behind the scenes documentary they did?
I did not.
They interviewed Dixon's wife for a little bit, and she talked about how actually devastated Dixon was after coming to pit road on his last stop where he sped. And he said
that's the worst.
He said he didn't. She said he didn't say a word all night long when he got home.
All I can think about with Dixon and the family is the Taco Bell incident.
Maybe
we talked about. Do we not? Okay.
No,
that was a while back.
No, it was a while back.
I'm sure he didn't say a word after that either.
Well, I just say that's a pretty rough neighborhood. Some of the areas around there, just don't go to Taco Bell in that neighborhood. It's probably the best thing to do.
It gives you a little more respect for Dixon in one aspect, though.
It does. It does. Lights are still on the pace car. We will at least go green at lap 77, 78. Also cheering on Wags, who just made his AMA debut Friday night. Okay, so Wags is driving the 10 tops. Okay. Well, Wags is our leader right now. So AMA is the American Motorsports Association. We broadcast their races on Thursday and Friday nights. And that is Mark Murphy and Sam Crow that call the action there. I am not a NASCAR guy. You know that. So I leave it to those pros. So what do you think of Indy 500 quals today? First rookie pole winner since 1983.
All right, so that's breaking news for me.
Yes. Now, it's not the first rookie to start from the pole since 1983. Tony Stewart started from the pole. in 96. He did not win the pole in 96. Unfortunately, he picked up the pole because of the death of Scott Brayton. Everyone had to move up one position. So somebody's got to start from the pole, and it was P2 to P1. So he started. He did not win. The last rookie winner of the pole position to start the Indianapolis 500, Teo Fabi, 1983, driving the Skoal Bandit.
So, I saw the 12 go to 6 for the qualifying, but I had to leave the house for a little bit, so I didn't really know who got pole. But
oh, did I just spoil it for you?
I mean, it's fine. I'm not gonna have time to watch the whole thing.
I wish you would have told me. I feel bad now.
Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad whatsoever. It's not a big problem for me, but that's wild that we have a rookie pole sitter.
Robert Schwartzman, a rookie team, a rookie driver. The first Israeli to ever start the Indy 500. The first Israeli to ever win a pole for the Indy 500. The running joke is Italy traded in the Pope for a pole. That's what they said.
Oh my goodness, that's funny.
Green flag in the air. Starting second is Takuma Sato, an Indy-only driver. So the first regular driver, as we're going into turn one and still jockeying for position, first regular driver of the series to start the race, other than Schwartzman being a rookie, is P3 Pato.
Oh, we got some
very tight racing. And here comes one of the leader energy cars. He's going to send it to the inside of the turn two. You don't really do that. And he survives through the tunnel turn. And he's going to come out of the high on the other side. He's going to go inside on Murph into one and into three here on the bottom for P1. And he pulls it off. Rafi Eckert with the power move.
That was insane, Gary. I mean, I know we're getting towards the end of the race and people want to find spots where they can, but again, everybody's kind of piling into turn two at different speeds and different paces and finding different lanes. And I just hope these guys can really figure out exactly how to ride side by side and be patient. But looks like Schaus is under pressure again.
Eckert to the inside. He just full sends it into two as Murph threw a little bit of shade on him, and Rafi going like, yeah, I'm just going to send it. I'm bringing, and we're going to go four wide down the short chute into three.
I mean, this is what Pocono is all about, Gary. We have a little bit of a hook contact there. This is Pocono in its absolute prime right now. We got guys that are going three wide into corner. They know what the outside line does, and you just hope the guy in the middle just kind of figures it out along the way. And so far, these guys have figured it out along the way, other than a couple of quick incidents before, but we're getting there. And I think we're going to see this for the rest of the race now. I think these guys are going for it. I think they saved enough fuel under that caution that there's not really a fuel worry. And what we saw before was the fuel save, but now what we got going on is a race.
Well, Schaus was leading there temporarily, but Murph gets the drop. Now he drops to the bottom to give, wags to the top, drops to the bottom to give Murph a little bit of help. Here comes Stouffer to the bottom. The Pocono Whisperer to the lead.
Oh, Forsyth has contact with Presley, I believe that was into turn one. I think we check.
Here comes Schaus to the bottom into two. We're going to go three wide like it's a pace lap at Indianapolis. And on the outside of that, here comes Murph and Presley skidding to the inside. And we're going to get a caution out of that.
I think Forsyth's front wing is okay. I went to go double check that.
Ooh.
But Forsyth did hit Presley in a turn one. Again, that's turn two, Gary. These guys are kind of stacking up into turn two and at different paces.
And now we're all bunched up here at lap 82. We really didn't watch to see what Pahutsky did. He came to pit road and got a new set of tires, and I'm not sure how many positions he gained there on that start. Once again, I'm going to guess the call is the stay out. Once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching P1's broadcasting of round 2 of 9 of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by the Joy of Driving. Coming to you from Legacy Pocono for the Watchman 250. We're currently Mark Murphy at lap 82. Leads. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. Ring the bell so that you don't miss out on future iRacing broadcasts here on the channel, including tomorrow night, IndyCar doubleheader. Our leader, Murph, will be chairing the action with Kyle Clinworth for the IndyCar Open Series. And we do have some people coming to pit road, possibly a pump fake. We'll see here. Schaus, pump fake. Wags, pump fake. But not for Peterson. Peterson coming to pit road.
Yeah, at this point of the race, it's kind of wondering why the pump fakes are happening. You know, nobody's going to come down from the lead to get new tires and just give up track position. But we're getting wild now, Gary. And I mean, if we're going to watch anything on this broadcast, we're going to watch Turn 2. Because Turn 2 seems to be where everybody's kind of trying to find their lane and trying to find their way around. And I think that's going to be where we find the most issues going forward. But yeah, I'm happy to see that Forsyth did not get the damage there, because that looked like a pretty decent hit he had into turn 1 on Presley. Presley's still he's new to the series, trying to find his place here, trying to find where he could fit in. And unfortunately, it looked like he got a little bit tight on the line there. So these guys will learn. This is definitely a track that's hard to come into it cold.
And getting back on the lead lap is Shane Coker. Had an earlier incident, fell a couple laps behind, but just staying patient and being the lead car -1 or more laps down, and he has managed to get the wave around the last couple times. He is now back on the lead lap. So he's going to get a little service now, get some tires, and do a full send here at the end, see if he can pick up any spots. But it's going to be Murph, your leader, Schaus in second, Wags in third, Eckert in fourth, Turner Johnson fifth, Stouffer sixth, Brubacher seventh, Averett eighth, Lover ninth, Forsyth in 10th. But I think you also need to keep your eyes open and watch out for Cone in 11th. And a little bit further behind, I also think we need to keep our eyes open for Peterson and Teed in 17th and 18th. They came for new tires. But I think anybody in the top 10 has a pretty decent shot at this thing.
Yeah, at this point, if you know you're good on fuel, you have the track position to kind of keep your way forward. And some of these guys that want to take the new tires may have a good opportunity, but you have to keep in mind that some of these guys in the mid-pack may not go on the restart as quick as they want, or kind of go the single file necessarily they need. So it's very hard to pick up positions here unless somebody really makes a mistake, and you need to capitalize on 10 to 12 people's mistakes if you pit. And there's just not enough time in the race for that to happen while also staying in contact with the cars ahead. So pitting at this point of the race at Pocono when there's not so much tire fall off is a risky strategy, but it's paid off for people in the past, especially if there's multiple cautions going to the end of the race.
Ambient temperature is 66, track temp is 74. That tells me that new tires aren't going to buy you an awful lot with that track temp out there. I think the play might have been to stay out. We're going to go green here with 16 to go. It is Murph, Schaus, then Wags, Eckert, and Johnson going to bring us to green this time by again, critical if you're in the mid-pack to get a good restart here. It doesn't take much to lose the draft in these cars. The envelope only goes back to maybe 0.6 at most a second. They do not extend as far back as the IR18 does. Even though really in real life these things would have punched a much bigger hole in the air than the IR18. And a slow restart by Murph as he is keeping the field checked down, and he is going to go serpentine already to the inside.
I was going to mention Mark Averett is our biggest climber in this race right now, but we got we got a lot of action going on right around where he is. So, yeah, a very slow start by Murphy, and some people got very, very impatient right behind. So, I'm watching Craig. Oh, poor side. There's contact.
Warren Rogers right there. A little bit of a spark. Eric Peterson trying to get around with the new tires.
Oh, that was close. Forsyth is very, 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 very close to the car next to him, and he's kind of.
Oh, here's Wags to the inside. Everyone's shooting across the racetrack, and he runs in the one. Wags to the lead. Schaus in second. Murph up high, and here comes Stouffer.
Meanwhile, Mark Cohn passed 4 cars into turn 1, but he's going 3 wide. He's stuck in the middle back here in P8.
Oh, he slides right in front of Lovern.
It worked out. Lovern kind of moved at the last second to go underneath him, but Cohn picks up 4 spots in turn 1 right there.
Speaking of 4 wide through 3. Stouffer on the bottom.
Forsyth got hit. And they're all stacking up. Forsyth loses 7, 8, 9, 10 spots. I think Forsyth got hit right in between turn 2 and 3 there. Forsyth drops from 7th to about 17th right now.
Cohn has worked his way up the 5th. Now we're 4 wide down the backstretch, or down the Long Pond Straight. Forsyth.
Yep, Forsyth makes his way by a few of those guys, but he lost 10 spots after he got hit in the middle of turn 3 there.
Aver to the inside of a number of cars through turn 3, slides up in front. Oh, Rogers into the wall off of 3. Here comes T to the inside. Schaus just cuts across traffic.
Oh, got a car loose. Rogers gets
and Cohn into the back, and then he gets caught up because he gets nosed into, and we just have a checkup, and now we're spinning down the Long Pond Straight.
A lot of cars taken out.
And you saw that coming. There was just a couple of checkups, and that's all it took.
It's getting to be no guts, no glory right now, Gary, and some of these guys definitely got collected here at a turn 1, and unfortunately it ensued that it collected a lot of cars.
So you see this, there you see right here. We'll stop right here. And I want to go back to where Wags. So we saw it with Wags. Maybe we'll see from this angle here with the blimp. Wags gets passed by Schaus, who sends it to the bottom, then slides up in front of Wags. Wags has a check up, and then here's the closing rate. That's how fast it happens. He gets punched in the back by Cohn. Cohn gets gets chrome horned a little bit by Murphy, but I'm not saying Murphy did anything wrong. It just the gap closed so much. Watch how fast this happens. And then Stouffer's already, and then he blinks out. There goes Turner Johnson. There goes Gary Lovern. Lovern to the back of Brubacher. So, wow. Just a lot of carnage down the backstretch.
Collected in that. There's a lot of cars that we can't really break it down so much there, but several cars made it through.
So I see Brubacher definitely is going to have to tow. We see Cohn sideways. He'll probably be towing back to the pits here. But let's go back to live TV. Let's recount what we got left on the racetrack for this final sprint home. Hopefully it is Schaus now the leader. It is Wagner. It is Murphy. Lover now in 4th. John Martins, he is now in 5th. He has brought that leaner energy car up into the top 5. Pahutsky now in 6th. Averett in 7th. Fortson in 8th. Forsyth in 9th. We don't know what type of damage is possibly on Forsyth's car. It looks like he's been a little bit of brute force action has been performed around him. So he is definitely feeling a little frustration right now, but he is now 9th. Haisong is in 10th. We have not mentioned Haisong at all today, but he has worked his way up into 10th. Peterson 11th. Sehei Lewis Hayes is in 12th. Coker, well, remember, he was on the tail end of the lead lap coming to green last time by. He is now 13th. Leo Salvador 14th. Vitor in 15th. Jacob Wilson in 16th. Warren Rogers on pit road, might be trying to get some repairs done. He is in 17th. Eric Anderson on the racetrack. He is 1 lap down now in 18th. Look like Eckert is out. Teed is out. Stouffer is out. Brubacher still sitting on pit road. Turner Johnson still sitting on pit road. And Mark Cohn still sitting on pit road. Oof.
Yeah, I'm sure Mark Cohn is damaged enough where he can't come out for the rest of the race. Looks like Eric Schaus is the winner here. He's managed to avoid all the carnage behind him, and he's going for the win here. So let's see what he has going on. Matt Wagner is definitely kind of stayed out of trouble as well. And I mean, Murphy and Lovern, they've managed to find a way to get themselves in a position here where they can run for the win. And I'm not sure if they have what it takes to actually make a run here, just based on their fuel situation. But I think we've had enough caution here where I think everybody's good enough on caution laps to make it here from the end.
We're going to go green with 9 to go. Schaus is your leader. Schaus is the defending series champion. He won 3 races last year, one of which was here. He also won at Homestead and won the season ender at Indianapolis. He did not run during the summer series where we had the 4 500-mile races, and is rejoining us already with 1 win this season. First race of the season 2 weeks ago at Kansas. Now he is your leader here in the late stages here at Pocono. Checking in from the medical center, Rafi Eckert's not very happy. Looks like he has reached his incident limit already because of this race. So he says 28 incident points here just because of the beating and banging and no one really holding their lines and everyone being very aggressive. So very unhappy Rafi Eckert, who has a lot of experience in these cars.
9 laps to go. I think these guys are really more concerned about what's going on behind them. Like some of these guys that don't usually run now up front. So I think it's a matter of trying to find a way to hold off the guys behind that are really and see exactly what's happening with some of the behavior from these guys that are sitting behind them.
Schaus has 6 career wins here in the series. Looking for win number 7. That would tie him with Wagner right behind him. Wagner with 7 career wins. Murph right behind this group as well. Murph has 2 career wins. Gary Lever, no wins. So maybe we see a new winner out of this. We shall see. Green flag in the air, coming to 9 to go. And here goes Wags to the inside. The leader's a bit of a sitting duck going into 1.
There's always a little bit of a drag race going into turn 1, and I think Matt Wagner is going to have the spot here. He's going to take the lead, but it looks like you can't hold on to the lead down Long Pond straightaway here.
Murphy back to the lead. And he is bringing Wags with. Schaus kind of being locked out at the moment. John Martin's wisely following the line through. Here comes Levert as well. Then we got Pahutsky, Fortson, Forsyth, and Haisong. They are all right with this group to the inside. Here comes Schaus. Does Schaus take that dive to the inside? We've seen him do a couple of times. No, he has not. But as Wagner, your leader, he's going to get a big run off of 2. Here comes Schaus. Up high is Murphy. Murphy getting a bit of a run, but Schaus not giving him the room. Eckert says he wants his teammate to win here. Forsyth way up high through 2. Kicking up dust. Here's Schaus again. Go ahead.
Pahutsky is very, very loose. Gary
Oh,
Lovern's in the wall.
we got that's Haisong and Lovern.
Yep, they're continuing to crash down the front straightaway here. It looks like Lovern had a bum left rear there, and some cars climbed over the top of him going down the front straightaway.
Yeah, Warren Rogers, like he was at there. We see this right here. They get contact. And then as they cut across the traffic, here comes Warren Rogers. He kind of had no place to go. Oh, gosh. Coker. And, oh, geez, right in front of Cone and Salvador. And I think Salvador might be... Yeah, he has a meatball. Coker has a meatball. Lovern has a meatball. Highsong has a meatball. So... Again, we're going to re-rack them one more time, Andrew, and we're going to go sprinting in here.
Yeah, I have no idea what to expect from here, Gary. You got these guys that are kind of getting very, very excited to get up to the front again, and unfortunately, some of these guys are getting a little bit more impatient.
Now, we're thinning the field out quite a bit here. We'll do a complete reset of who is left on the track, but somebody a little bit further back, if they can get a good restart and send it with new tires, if they decide to stop and get tires and send it on the inside of turn 1 and turn 2, if they get a good restart, they can pick up some mega slots here. We hear drivers burning off fuel. Murphy burning off, Forsyth, he's burning off fuel. That's what you hear right there. Right here, this is the sound. So what he's doing is he's engaging the clutch and then applying 100% throttle, hitting the rev limiter, and that is burning off fuel. And he's trying to burn off critical weight here to help him in the late stages. So in other words, he has more fuel than what he needs to get to the end. And how much fuel do you need to get to the end here, Andrew? The answer is just enough.
Just enough. Yeah, I think going for the fuel burn strategy is a way to take it, I guess. I think Yari is coming by, get the lucky dog.
Interesting how the whole field decided to move to the inside of the race. Oh, I think, okay, that's why, because they have a car coming by. I was like, that seemed odd, but now it makes sense. We're getting a wave around here. Get a lucky dog. That is going to be Yari. Yari's going to stay on the lead lap, so he's going to rejoin at the back of the pack. So first, second, third have not used their fast repair yet. Martins has. Pahutsky has not. Forsyth has not. Preston Fortson has. Vitor has not. Peterson has not. Jacob Wilson in 10th spot. He has. So there's a couple guys here that are on their last bullets per se on the on the fast repair, and they maybe without the fast repair there, do you drive a little less intense, a little less aggressive, or do you full send it knowing that you got yourself in a position to possibly get a win here in the Dark Horse Racing Series? Presented by the Joy of Driving. And I'm sure the Joy of Driving podcast or the stream is not a very happy one right now with Mark Cohn. He was among the leaders, but now he is down one lap back in 15th spot. I'm sure he's not happy in how this race is going right now. But we are going... Go ahead.
You got to keep in mind here too, Gary, is that if there's one more caution, it's the end of the race. These guys are racing to 100 laps, and we're coming to lap 97 right now. So a restart and then another caution will be the end of the race. There's no green, white checkers here, so I think these guys are thinking about that too. So the intensity is going to ramp up big time here once we have the restart going.
And Shane Coker checking in from the infield care center. I died because the caution was late. I don't think a caution really did come out until the car, I think, got sideways, or was it really off the pace. It looked like the caution was, that's to me that why I was late, because when we were watching it unfold, everyone was still pointed forward. until more cars kind of drove into the accident and it became victims themselves. So, yeah, in real IndyCar racing, that would have been an instant caution waived by race control and the starter. But in iRacing, certain things need to happen in the sim in order for that to kick off a caution. And if everyone is still kind of pointed forward, the caution is less likely to come out. If a car reaches a certain degrees off the plane of the racing surface or parallel to the racing line, that's when the caution will typically come out. So, interesting enough, we're in turn 2. Lights are out on the pace car. We're going to get a natural green-white checker here, I think.
Yep, we're restarting on lap 98, so that'll be the green. And I think we'll have 2 green flag laps and then the white flag.
All right.
But hopefully these guys have got it all figured out now, and we're going to get a clean restart here. Some of the guys in the back here are going to be wanting to move, and we'll have to watch for that, especially around like 9th, 10th, 11th or so.
Salvador, Yari, and Anderson, Highsong, those are all kind of late pitters. They got fresher tires. We'll see if they are still on the racetrack. They can do something here. Green flag in the air, late restart. We're bunching up the field already, kind of around where Tristan Fortson is in 7th spot. But here goes Wags, starting the serpentine to the inside as Wags, Murph, Schaus, 1, 2, 3 into 1.
We'll watch turn 2 here because that's where everyone starts to stack up a little bit.
And here comes Schaus just cutting across 3 lanes of traffic to the inside, sends it into 2, and comes out the leader on the other side. And don't forget John Martins on the high side. And he's going to get a run down the main straight, but no, not a single helping hand there as all 3 of his main primary combatants stay to the inside. But here comes Murph, here comes Wags. Wags 3 wide into 1, 2 to go.
Watching Craig Forsyth back here. He's battling for 9th place, and he got hit twice on the restart lap, and I think he's ready to make a move. He's going to go 3 wide down the back straightaway right here towards turn 2, and I think Craig is going to have the run there.
Whoa,
Craig
slides up.
Makes it nice and clean. It looks
Wags,
like
Wags
back up in the lead.
Yeah, Wags sends it to the
lead.
bottom. Wags sends it to the bottom. He picks up back the lead. It is Wags on the white flag. Here comes Murph, Schaus, Martins, Pahutsky, and Vitor also up in the battle here. Vitor goes purple. That time by a 2:20.9. And Wags slides up in front of Schaus. Schaus trying to find a little bit of a hole. He's going to try to thread the needle. Here comes Martins to the inside into 2.
Big stack up into 2 there, but we're going towards turn 3, and Martin's really with a great move there, and I think he might have something going towards the...
He might have this, and they're spinning off the last corner, and here comes Martins to the checkered flag. He wins it, an upset win in his first race here in the series. Martins, your winner at Pocono.
Looks like Wagner actually was the one that got turned there into turn 3, which spun, I believe that was Murphy.
Wow, so Martins, your winner. Schaus, second. Jacob Wilson in third. Craig Forsyth comes home fourth. Lewis Hayes, a top 5 for him. He's 5th. We'll get you the top 5. We'll get you the whole running order here in a moment. But your winner is John Martins, and we will talk to him, and actually we'll get a chance to hear from him. How do you say your name?
Yeah, so it looks like Wagner got turned by Murphy a little bit, and Murphy got spun into, I think that was Vitor. They got hit right there. So it was the Murphy and Wagner contact there initially, and then that got Vitor a little sideways, and he spun across the track. So that wound up hurting Murphy and Wagner's chances there. But good enough for John Martins. wow, that was quite a move he had down in turn 2 there. And I didn't think he was going to make it, especially he had such a narrow angle of entry there going, but he had it. And John is the winner here.
And I think that is the only lap he led all day. I think that's the only lap he led all day. But we will go and maybe talk with him here in a second. Your winner, John Martins. Second is Eric Schaus, your points leader, now really helping himself in the points championship by extending the lead. Jacob Wilson very quietly worked his way up to third, a P3 and a podium. We'll talk to him here in a little bit. Craig Forsyth in fourth, Lewis Hayes fifth, Eric Peterson with the red rims in sixth, Tristan Forts in seventh, Casey Bahutsky in eighth, Mark Averett top 10 in ninth, and Leo Salvador in 10th. Yari in 11th, Vitor in 12th, Mark Murphy in 13th, Wags 14th, Cone 15th, Lover in 16th, Highsong 17th, Anderson 18th, Coker 19th, and Warren Waters in 20th. A lot of the guys here from 11th to 20th, not indicative of the type of race they have. A lot of these guys were in the top 5 for much of the day. Got Rafi Eckert 21st, T 22nd, Stouffer 23rd, Johnson, Presley, Albright, Lee, and Dinsdale rounding out the remainder of the 28-car field here for our 250-mile, 100-lap race at Pocono, Legacy Pocono.
Crazy race, Gary. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Everybody was really going for it there, especially when you have those late cautions. And you have 5 laps to make up, 7, 8 spots or so. And that's definitely something that these guys had in the back of their minds. They wanted to get up there as best they could. And unfortunately for coming to the checkered for Murphy and Wagner, that was not a good run for them. But, I mean, John Martins for sure had that turn 2 run there. And he had it going.
All right. Okay, and let's get into the interview room here and talk to some guys. I'm sure we got some happy folks in here. Probably not some happy people as well. A bit of a rough race out there. But Jacob Wilson is here. Let's bring him into the booth. Jacob Wilson drives to survive to come home in third today. Jacob, we really didn't shout you out very much. You didn't get up to the kind of the top 10, top 5 until the late stages of the race. But the whole time we're watching this race, we really were talking about what a type of slugfest it was in the mid-pack. And you were marred in that for much of the race. What was going on back there? And maybe he's not here.
You got me, guys, now?
You got now we hear you. You gotcha?
All right. Yeah, I got you guys. So it was pretty crazy back there. We had a good qualifying run, started 6th. I'm still very much a rookie in IndyCars. But we just are coming off an Indy 500 win last weekend in the fixed Indy 500. So got some confidence there. But, it was pretty crazy. I was just kind of taking care of myself. I wanted to run as many laps as possible. I just need the experience and just kind of learning the racecraft. And I kind of picked up on, the outside was kind of the place to be to kind of defend your position. And so like those last few laps, I was just telling myself, just stay to the outside and it'll end up, kind of coming your way. And it did. So I'm pretty pleased with it. Still got a lot to learn. Just kind of short run pace, I feel like, but we fired off really good that last restart and we came in third.
Go ahead, Andrew.
So when you were going into the last corner, did you see a lot of carnage happening, and how did you manage to navigate your way through that? Did you feel like you had a good line?
Yeah, and honestly, I just kind of didn't lift. I was like, okay, I'm either going to crash here or I'm going to finish pretty good. But it looked like most of them, once they started getting together, they were kind of clearing themselves to the inside. So it looked like I was going to be okay there at the end. Feels good. The last race at Kansas, we had gotten up to the top 5 and then kind of got clipped there at the end. And I had some suspension damage, and so I just I had to pull off there at the end, but saved the car. I think y'all got it on the broadcast. It was a kind of a crazy save there. The fact I didn't tear anything else up, but overall, good night, good experience. Looking forward to the next one.
Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone who wants to say hi to getting this P3 here today at Pocono?
Yes, sir. I got a bunch of good sponsors over here at Revved Up. They support us in iRacing and in real life. Circle W Farms, Floors by Dennis, the No Names, Victory Fuel, and I got to thank my buddy Donahue for making this paint. So, good race tonight. Thanks, guys.
We'll catch you in a couple weeks when we get to the next race on the schedule, and I think that is Gateway. So a bit of a different change from the super speedways and intermediates, a little bit more to a shorter oval. So we'll see you in a couple weeks when we get there.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, guys.
See ya.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have anyone from Schaus? Do we have Schaus around? There he is. We will bring him down. And there he is. And we'll pull him out of his channel. Sorry, Eric, we just pulled you out of your channel mid discussion. P2 here today. Not a bad way to start your season. We noticed though that the best really move for you today was that track position you gained by staying out under that early caution, and then you're able to really hold on to that position by virtue of a couple other timely cautions. And then a heck of a run there to the end to the checker.
Yeah, very fortunate call to stay out there. I don't know what happened in qualifying. I don't know why I was so slow. But at that point, with not too many laps on the tires, I was like, screw it, let's just stay out. And it worked out really well. And then after that, I think I went in on a pit stop where I probably shouldn't have, because some of the leaders did, and I was back again in like 12th or 13th or something. But at that point, I think I had the track figured out and was able to race back to the front. And then from there, it was just survival. I mean, the front was absolutely wild, bumping and banging everywhere. Yeah, it was crazy. I'm glad I survived. My apologies to anybody that felt like I may have caused a little bump here or there, but I did my best to keep it clean, and podium, I'll take it.
How wild was it for the first couple laps when you were kind of battling back there for the top 15 or so? It seemed like there were a lot of guys that were trying to move forward or maybe save a little bit, and you were kind of stuck in the middle there, and you had a couple close calls. So talk us through how the start of the race went for you before you actually stayed out and got there.
The start of the race was really just a thought of let me see if I can save some tires. During practice, it felt like the tires burned up pretty quickly. Probably around lap 10 or 11, there started to get a delta in tires between people. So that's what I was waiting for in the back. I was like, let's not fight these people. There'll probably be a caution. Let me save some tires, then maybe I could do what I did and stay out because I'll have fresher tires. So that's really all the thought was there. I think in hindsight, I probably could have raced through those guys and made it up to the front, but it was really just a feeler. Knowing that cautions were going to come at some point, and then I could take advantage of that.
Well, not a bad way to, again, start the defense to your championship, a win and a P2. We got the 2 points, and you're out to a pretty commanding lead here, as you would imagine, a 32-point lead over Murphy, who's now second. Casey Pahutsky is in third, and Martins, with the win today, catapults himself up to fourth in a tie with Jacob Wilson, who finished third today. So congratulations on the P3 or the P2 here today. And yeah, it was a bit of a slugfest. So I would imagine you probably feel that survival was the key here. And you did do that. And you're off to a good start on your championship once again, a win and a P2. You got any shout outs, any friends, any family, sponsors you want to say hi to before we let you go?
Yeah, thanks to you guys in the booth. I look forward to hearing this one called. And thanks to Dark Horse for putting this on and the admins and my team in the chat. And thanks to anybody out there watching. We appreciate it.
Eric Schaus led 14 laps today and is now our points leader by a pretty hefty margin here in the championship. Congratulations. We'll catch you at the next one.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll just drag him down there, and he can go back to the channel he was in. I'm trying to find some B-roll here of, there we go, some replays. I don't think John is with us. I don't know. I don't see him anywhere. Do you see him anywhere in chat?
I was looking. I don't see him anywhere.
I don't see him anywhere. Do we have anything in general chat? Yeah, I want to make sure that if he had any shout outs he wanted to make. Rafi says that actually John will travel to the Indy 500 this week. So he will be in my hometown this week.
Interview him there.
Yeah, go find Andrew in the Coke lot. And if it's your first 500, you need to experience the Coke lot.
I'll be around.
Well, yeah, we're looking at John's stat line here. He only led one lap, the last one, the one that counts. And here's the rest of his stat line, really, as he was low as 27th at one point, started 16th, and got the win. So first win. He is the 19th different winner here in the Dark Horse Racing Series with the DW12s, and I believe he joins Edson Santos and Rafi, his teammates, as winners here in the series. So congratulations. He's not going to be here to join us, but I'm sure that he will be shouting out his teammates and the Leaner Energy squad for sure. And we look forward to seeing him more this season as the series moves to Gateway next. I guess in lieu of that, we don't have a winner's interview today, but we'll definitely spotlight the winner's car here on the replay. But any final thoughts from you, Andrew, before we give everyone back their Sunday nights to start the week here? Another bit of a slugfest here in the series, but people kind of settling in, kind of learning thy neighbor a little bit.
Yeah, pre-race we were kind of talking about how there's a possibility that things could get a little bit wild, but we never actually pictured that things could get as wild as they did. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that cars were getting a little bit antsy going down Long Pond straightaway towards turn 2. That's where we saw a lot of the incidents and everything like that. But honestly, I think people are still trying to figure everybody out in this race or in this series and figure out where they stand, what their pace is like. And I'm sure some people are a little bit jaded from the first race, the second race now. So I could see some aggression ramp up in the next race as well. But maybe it'll get to a point where some of these guys are saying, okay, let's just sit in the pack and race together, and we'll see how it turns out. And we'll have to see what the fuel strategy is like for the next race as well, because I'm sure that'll play a part as well.
Well, I'm hoping that as we get into this season a little bit, and there's a lot of practice time these guys can take advantage of between races, since the races are spread out a little bit more, to get some practice time in and to kind of hone the grasp. And as you saw listening to Jacob there, he's still learning the car a little bit. But once you kind of get, I always say with these cars, iron sharpens iron. The more you put into them, the more you get out of them, even the DW12. The more you practice, I'm sure that the racecraft will develop as well. So looking forward to see how everyone does here when we get to Gateway here in a couple of weeks. Let's get on out of here, give everyone back their Sunday nights here. So that's it for tonight. Once again, your podium from Pocono Raceway for the Watchman 250 is John Martins with his first win in the series, your 19th different winner in the history of the Dark Horse Series. He's your winner tonight, led only one lap. And frankly, it was the lap that matters. Eric Schaus comes home second, extending his points lead in his defense of his championship from last season. And Jacob Wilson's best finish ever in the series comes home in third. Join Andrew and myself again in 2 weeks for round 3 of the Dark Horse Racing Series, presented by The Joy of Driving, as the teams and drivers head to Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway for the Sim Gaming Expo 135. Coverage begins around 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's 8:00 p.m. Eastern Time. Remember, it's a new season, and so as always, you can find everything right here at YouTube at youtube.com/@P1 Broadcasting. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not an easy one, so please help support P1 with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know your thoughts on tonight's race and if you enjoyed tonight's coverage. Support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out on more of other P1's other iRacing programming, including our open wheel doubleheader on Monday. You can join Murph and Clindy for the iRacing IndyCar Open Series at 8 p.m. Eastern, and stick around for myself and LGN with the Sim Gaming Expo ISRA Open Wheel Series at 9:35 p.m. Eastern Time. If you like iRacing IndyCar racing action, then make P1 your home on Monday nights every week. The Dark Horse Racing Series is presented by The Joy of Driving. Looking for entertaining sim racing content? Well, look no further than The Joy of Driving. Follow Mark Cohn's racing escapades as he battles for wins and avoids wrecks with Cadillac reflexes. Not tonight, but maybe next week, or maybe the next race. All the while providing commentary sure to make you laugh, cry, or do both. Follow along by subscribing to The Joy of Driving on YouTube or like his Facebook page at The Joy of Driving. All the links you need are in the description. Tonight's race has also been brought to you by 4D Racewear and SimWrap Market. Check out 4D's Racewear's line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in today's description. SimWrap Market is your go-to source for iRacing paint templates and broadcast resources. From clean base liveries to pro-level design assets, SimWrap Market is everything you need to build your brand on track. They also offer high-quality track cam packs to give your streams and replays that polished, cinematic look. Visit simwrapmarket.com today. Download customized race track cams for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash Sim Cams. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook or follow them on X and Instagram. Links are in the description. For business inquiries to learn more about P1 and what we do, you can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on X and Instagram. You can also follow all of our social links on Linktree. Check them out in the description. So, for Andrew Wood, everyone here at the Dark Horse Racing Series and The Joy of Driving, I'm Gary Gatto saying all thanks for watching. And to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here in 2 weeks at Gateway for the next race of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by The Joy of Driving. It's all on P1. Good night.